Karen and the HOA had reached a level of audacity that defied imagination. After years of relentless harassment, flooded lakes, sabotaged docks, Carolina Reaper humiliations, snake defenses, immobilized junkyard vehicles, river manipulations, felled willow trees, biker gang confrontations, explosive raids, lock tampering, ladder spying, hotel flooding, pit-trapped patrol trucks, powerless power lines, surprise crocodiles, immobilized tow trucks, $20 million fines, concrete hedge walls, glued locks, lake fines, sliding SUVs, swapped EV chargers, pontoon fines, sheriff, confrontations, drained wetlands, dock debacles, sewage flooding, mall construction, bull barn defenses, Lembo repossession, forest domination, gate defenses, aimed boats at HOA homes, bulldozed shooting ranges, barn intrusions, banned neighborhood access, immobilized trespassing vehicles, and resort floods. They had now escalated to sinking my boat. It started with an innocuous-looking email from the HOA, claiming that my dock and boat infringed upon HOA water rights. Karen's tone implied that if I did not move the boat immediately, they would take drastic action. I had anticipated her threats. This was not new. I knew the boat was fully mine and had never encroached on any HOA property. Still, the audacity of their claim warranted a response that would teach Karen and her HOA a lesson they would never forget. I reviewed surveillance footage. The boat was secured at my private dock, moored in place, and linked to a comprehensive system of sensors, cameras, and water level controls. The HOA had no legal right to interfere, yet Karen had dispatched a small team to the lake with the intent of physically sinking it. The drones confirmed their approach. Their small motorboat, loaded with equipment, navigated the waters toward my dock. Grandpa, Ranger, and I convened immediately. The plan was simple: neutralize their audacity, document every action, and escalate strategically. I activated the dock's hydraulic locks, ensuring the boat could not be unmoored without triggering alarms. Simultaneously, the sensors activated a local deterrent system, water jets that created strong currents, making the intruder's approach unstable and visibly hazardous. Within minutes, the HOA team struggled to reach the dock, unaware that their every move was being recorded for legal purposes. Next, I escalated strategically. While Karen and her team were distracted, I activated the water level system for the lake. My control over the upstream reservoirs allowed me to subtly adjust currents and create localized waves strong enough to destabilize their small boat, forcing them to retreat without ever touching mine. Drones captured every moment. The team's futile attempts, their rising panic, and Karen's furious shouting as her plan unraveled. With their failure secured, I shifted to retaliation, calculated, legal, and absolute. Using a combination of purchased HOA assets, environmental manipulation, and ownership leverage, I orchestrated a flood that targeted the HOA neighborhood itself. Levees, water management systems, and natural floodplains under my control allowed me to redirect water into previously neglected drainage channels. The HOA's homes, streets, and recreational areas were subjected to controlled flooding that mirrored the audacity of their attempted sabotage. Simultaneously, legal documentation was prepared. Evidence of Karen's attempt to sink my boat, combined with proof of their unauthorized construction, trespass, and intimidation, was organized for future litigation. Any subsequent claims from the HOA would be met with counterclaims, fines, and court orders exceeding anything they had previously attempted against me. By the afternoon, the neighborhood bore the consequences of audacity without foresight. Streets were submerged, lawns waterlogged, and temporary structures washed away, all under carefully controlled parameters ensuring no human harm occurred. Karen and the HOA were humiliated. The irony of their failed attempt to sabotage my property while their own land was affected by my strategic mastery was undeniable. By evening, calm returned. My boat remained secure, pristine, and operational at the dock. Ranger patrolled the perimeter, drones hovered silently, and the floodwaters receded to their natural levels, leaving behind both a warning and a lesson. Karen and the HOA had learned, yet again, that audacity on my property or against my property is met with consequences that are immediate, strategic, and unavoidable. Reflecting on the incident, it became clear that ownership is not merely legal. It is operational, tactical, and strategic. Karen and the HOA had discovered that every action against my property carries consequences far beyond their imagination. Trespass, sabotage, and audacity are met not with negotiation, but with absolute control, documentation, and enforcement. On my land, every attempt at overreach is neutralized and returned, often amplified, to those who dared attempt it. By nightfall, the lake was peaceful. My boat floated securely at the dock. Ranger patrolled silently, and drones recorded the entire area. Karen and the HOA had learned that when audacity meets preparation, authority, and strategic retaliation, the consequences are total, unforgettable, and irreversible. On my lake, control is absolute, and every attempt to overreach is met with precise, strategic, and unforgettable consequence.